Soon to be at 150 episodes in total, Bluey has had a slew of episodes ranging across 3 different seasons. Throughout the show's entirety, fans across the world have been able to laugh and cry alongside the Healer family, learning many life lessons along the way. Out of all the episodes released, many have gained the status of being the best. Some examples being Sleepy Time, Camping, and Baby Race. All of these episodes have understandably earned their titles, having beautiful visuals, captivating storytelling, and emotional moments. Also, those 3 episodes made me bawl my eyes out, so that's something to add on as well. And while I could go on and on about how good these episodes are, I instead want to focus on the parts of the series that tend to fly under the radar whenever any discussions regarding good Bluey episodes crop up online. Whether it's due to a boring plot, potentially bad messages, or simply no good emotions being created, many episodes are deemed below par when it comes to the standards of Bluey. Although, after having viewed every Bluey episode, I feel like some episodes don't get the recognition they deserve or even get too much hate. In this video, I'm going to be going over 4 particular episodes of Bluey and why they deserve more love and recognition due to their contents. And while I am going to be covering the justifiable reasons for someone to not like each of the mentioned episodes, I'm mainly going to focus on why any dislikers of these episodes should try and give them one more watch. So without further ado, let's get into the most underrated Bluey episodes, in my opinion. Starting off with the 16th episode of Bluey's first season, I believe that the episode Yoga Ball isn't talked about enough when it comes to impactful Bluey episodes. In terms of actual ratings, the episode is ranked 96th on IMDb, being just under the average range for all of the Bluey episodes. While I haven't seen any outward dislike to this episode, I believe people just tend to brush over it in general. For a quick refresher on what this episode is about, Bluey and Bingo want to play games with Bandit. Throughout the episode, however, we see Bingo shaken up due to Bandit playing too rough with her. At the end of the episode, Bingo has a talk with how rough Bandit is being with her, and they establish the right amount of rough when it comes to playing around. The main reason why I can see this episode not sticking out as much compared to other episodes is due to it being less eventful compared to other episodes. There isn't any main goal in mind or massive action going on, just simply Bandit playing games with Bluey and Bingo. Throughout the show, we see plenty of episodes where the Healer family are playing more exciting games around the house. Some examples of this are Taxi, Trains, etc. Because of this, it's understandable for someone to potentially lose interest when watching Yoga Ball. The thing that I feel makes up for all of this, however, is the main plot line and message throughout the episode and how impactful it is. The main message that one can get from this episode is establishing boundaries in a healthy and effective manner. A lot of the times, people may be afraid to speak up when something is bothering them out of fear of the other person not understanding or getting mad at them. We can see this with Bingo throughout the episode, being hurt by Bandit being too rough when playing, but not knowing how she can effectively communicate her feelings to Bandit. Fast forward to the end of the episode, we see her learning how to tell someone when her boundaries are being crossed, and Bandit taking these boundaries into consideration for the future. From Bandit's response, we also get another lesson on how to properly respond to someone establishing boundaries with you. Finally, we get reassured that our boundaries are valid and those who care about us will respect those boundaries when told about them. Overall, I feel like these messages and lessons throughout Yoga Ball make the episode way more impactful than it comes off as, breaking past the overly samey nature of the episode. Finally, while this isn't a major thing, I also feel like the music in this episode is overlooked a bunch too, especially the end credits music. I'm still waiting for that to be turned into a full song, by the way. Someone get on that. Anyways, if you're one to usually skip past this episode, I highly recommend to give it another watch and think about the messages of the episode during your viewing. The next episode that I want to cover in this video is another Season 1 episode. Episode 30, titled Fairies, is another episode that I feel doesn't get the credit it deserves. The episode starts off with Bingo wanting to show Bandit a domino heart that she made for him. Bandit is visibly busy and tries to politely convey that to Bingo. Bingo insists and leads to Bandit getting a bit frustrated at her. This hurts Bingo's feelings, and to make up for it, multiple antics involving fairies invading the Healer house ensue in order to try and cheer her up, along with giving Bandit the opportunity to make up for his mistake. One main thing about this episode that usually makes people not want to watch it is the overall flow of the plot. We start off with one incident happening, and then suddenly we're thrown into a completely different storyline, pushing aside the beginning of the episode to being simply a subplot. The part where I have to disagree with all of this is when the argument is brought up that even the subplot is bad. Most arguments that are brought up about this episode talk about how Bandit didn't need to do all of these things and embarrass himself just because he gave Bingo a stern look and talk. Although I feel like it's a matter of perspective that needs to be shifted when viewing fairies. On Bingo's end, it's completely fair that she's upset. When we're really young, a lot of us are used to our parents acting in a cheery and caring way that we see as normal. Due to this, when it's the first time we see them acting out of character, we feel emotionally distressed as we're not used to someone acting outside of their regular behavior, and feel like we've done something really wrong. This greatly explains why Bingo's upset in the episode's initial scene. Bingo isn't used to Bandit not being cheery and kind, so she feels very distressed when he acts differently when telling Bingo to let go of his tail. Now moving over to Bandit, in no way am I saying he's bad in any way for making this mistake. We could see that he was very preoccupied and potentially a little stressed out, so his emotions ended up getting the better of him and led to him accidentally snapping at Bingo a little bit. Nobody is perfect and we all make mistakes every now and then, which we can see with Bandit in this episode. Throughout the episode, he slowly realizes the mistake he made and makes up for it by cheering Bingo up with a little dance outside where all the neighbors can see. We see through Bandit what this episode is trying to tell everyone, which is that we aren't perfect and we all make mistakes, but what matters is how we can make up for those mistakes in order to move on and grow as people. This message is incredibly powerful, and I feel like it's overshadowed by the argument of how in the wrong Bandit was. Overall, viewing this entire episode from a much more neutral perspective can really make the episode more enjoyable and impactful to a point where it surpasses the downsides of the episode's main plot. The next episode that I'm going to be covering jumps all the way over to Season 3, Episode 20, which is Driving. Being ranked all the way in 133rd on IMDb out of all Bluey episodes and bonus bits, I feel like not a single person is giving this episode the love it deserves. The episode revolves around Chili and Bluey, as at the start we see Bandit leaving to bring Bingo to hockey practice. Throughout the episode, Chili is struggling to try and balance her work and her time with her children, jumping back and forth between the two things. The main reason why others find this episode not good enough to watch is the fact that it isn't very full of characters and action. In Driving, we simply see Bluey and Chili playing a game, which can make viewers potentially uninterested compared to more eventful episodes. Although I feel like we weren't watching the same episode in that case. Throughout the driving sequences, the use of dynamic POVs and angles really immerse you in the game that Bluey and Chili are playing, making you feel like you're alongside them for the ride. For such a simple episode, I feel like the animation was fantastic. On top of the animation, I feel like this episode, being a character-focused one, was able to bring you closer to Bluey and Chili. In episodes like Army and Rain, there's the main focus on only one or two characters. Despite this, the episodes are still very nice to watch due to the development we get with each character, being able to see into their world and how they view things. In Driving, we get to have a look into the world of Chili and Bluey, focusing on their dynamics with Chili being a working parent and Bluey being a kid who wants to spend time with her mom and dad. Throughout the episode, we get to see not only how much Chili cares about Bluey, but also how much Bluey cares about Chili. In the episode, Chili tries her best to make sure that she can make the most out of playing with Bluey, but we also see how Bluey is trying her best to make the game they're playing fun for Chili too. When getting another call from her work, Chili explains to Bluey how she's trying her best, but it's hard for her to do something when there isn't a big enough purpose that she plays in it. We then see Bluey switch the game around a little bit in order to make sure that Chili is enjoying her time as much as she can. I feel like this is a really touching moment overall, as it shows us how to work with one another to come together and make the best out of a situation for everyone. I feel like the main reason why this episode was brushed under the carpet in the Bluey community was due to Rain snatching its title of being the best Bluey and Chili episode, which, to be fair, was an incredible episode. While this episode isn't as jaw-droppingly beautiful as Rain, I still feel like this episode is special enough in multiple different ways that makes it deserve another watch. The final episode that I'm going to be talking about in this video is the lowest ranked yet. Sitting at 152nd place on IMDb, being rated just worse than Blue Mountains. How can any episode be rated worse than Blue Mountains? The episode library seems to have gotten a disproportionate amount of distaste towards it. The episode begins with Stripe telling Muffin that she is the most special kid in the entire world, to which she takes literally. This leads to Muffin completely disregarding the rules of the game that Bluey and Bingo are playing when she comes over for a play date. This upsets Bluey and Bingo and leads to Stripe having a talk with Muffin about his earlier statements. A lot of arguments I see that are against this episode discuss how Muffin is acting way too entitled and gives off potentially bad messages for other kids watching the show. She's seen multiple times not playing by the rules of the game and visibly upsetting Bluey and Bingo, potentially setting an example that this type of behavior is okay. While this could be the case, I feel like the entire message and lesson of the episode completely remedies this potential issue. When we're very young, we put a lot of trust into our parents and will take almost everything they say literally. When Stripe said that Muffin was the most special kid in the entire world, he meant it in a way that he cares about her and loves her very much. Muffin takes this statement literally, however, as she's still learning how to understand the world and what everything means. In Muffin's perspective, all of the actions she's doing when playing library with Bluey and Bingo are completely understandable in her eyes due to what Stripe told her. And just like I previously mentioned when talking about fairies, in this episode nobody is at fault. At the end of the episode, we see Stripe realizing his mistake by not factoring in how Muffin could take his statement literally. He then fixes his mistake, explaining to Muffin what he meant when he told her she was the most special kid in the entire world. Now understanding the meaning behind what Stripe said, Muffin also realizes her mistakes and fixes them by apologizing to Bluey and Bingo. The main message that this episode is trying to convey is that people, and especially young children, can take what we mean at face value and perceive it literally. Therefore, it's all about making sure we clarify what we mean when we're saying certain things. While I can see how Muffin could be setting a bad example in library, it's more important to understand that the greater example is given by applying the lessons within the episode through discussions with others in order to ensure that everyone is getting the right message from library. Therefore, I feel like when seeing the true message of the episode, it can be a lot more impactful than just Muffin getting everything she wants for almost 7 whole minutes. Because of this, I believe that library deserves a lot more love when it comes to Bluey episodes with important and meaningful messages. So there you have it. Those are what I believe to be some of the most underrated episodes of Bluey. For the people that really enjoy the episodes that I talked about, I hope I was able to do them some justice. And for the people that usually skip these episodes when watching Bluey, I hope I gave a good reason to give them all another try. I honestly think almost every episode of Bluey is good in its own way, but I just wanted to highlight these 4 episodes since I feel like they just haven't been getting the recognition and praise that they deserve. I don't have much else to say other than that, since I basically just wanted to talk about Bluey episodes in this video, so with that, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share the video around. If there's anything you thought I should add in this video, or if there's any videos that you want to see me make in the future, let me know on my Twitter or Discord. Links will be in the description. Have a great day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.